Russia, Russia, Russia. Now, I'm not going to claim to be a expert on foreign relations, and I'm not an expert on Russia and Ukraine and that whole history because that's very complex. I only have a surface level understanding of it, but I do understand American politics, especially the last two administrations. What I find interesting is, during the whole Trump administration, all we kept hearing from Hillary Clinton and the Democrats and the mainstream media, Biden and them, was Russia, Russia, Russia. They were saying that Trump was a Russian asset and he was Putin's puppet and he was working with Putin and he was going to let Putin run all over him and just do whatever he wanted to do and that he was compromised. Of course, we went through the whole impeachment. It was all a sham, a witch hunt. None of that stuff was true. We went through that whole thing with the Hillary Clinton Russian dossier that she faked, the spying on his campaign and all that. And where are we right now? Now, Putin is doing whatever he wants to do under Biden. So does that mean that Biden is compromised? Does that mean that Biden is a Russian asset? I'm not saying that, but it's just interesting how everything turned out. You know damn well, if Trump was in office right now, they'd be blaming him for everything. The mainstream media would be destroying him, saying that, oh, Putin's controlling him. This is all his fault. I mean, think about when Trump was in office. Think about the fact that they said that he was going to start World War III and, North Korea was going to blow us up. We were going to go to war with Russia. We were going to war with everybody, basically. And nothing happened. There was peace in the Middle East. Trump went up there to North Korea. He had the balls to face, Little Rocket Man, and he let him know what time it was. We weren't playing games. Putin was pretty much in check. He understood, what Trump represented. There's something to be said about strength and about a guy like Trump who was basically somebody that was unpredictable and you didn't know what he was going to do and he was capable of anything, People like Putin respect people like President Trump. Well, they respect strength. They respect balls. This is what happens when this left-wing progressive nonsense meets the actual real world. The real world that has consequences. The real world that deals in strength and in violence. This is the result of it. Look at the situation with Afghanistan and what happened. And listen, we should have gotten out of Afghanistan. I always thought that maybe we shouldn't have been there in the first place, or Iraq for that matter. Look at how Biden pulled out of Afghanistan, that whole disaster. The world was watching, Putin was watching, China was watching when all that was going on. They saw weakness. They saw a time to strike. It's no coincidence that, Putin started to go into Ukraine, Crimea during the Obama administration. He didn't do anything under Trump. Biden gets in office, and now he's invading Ukraine, which is a shame. He's talking about putting on sanctions and everything. I think it's a little bit too late, I feel bad for the Ukrainians, Now, I don't think that U.S. soldiers should go out there. I don't think that U.S. Boys should shed any blood. I don't believe in any of that stuff. Especially after Iraq and everything, going back even before that with Vietnam and even Afghanistan. I don't think that Americans should go out there and die for anybody other than, to protect ourselves, unfortunately. But those people are left, they're left for dead by NATO because they're technically not part of a NATO. And it gets very complex. But can anybody honestly say that this administration has not been a disaster? All these people that voted for Biden, right? They were like, oh, because Trump is mean. Well, now you see the results of voting based on people that you like and your emotions and no logic whatsoever. And basically, most people hated President Trump just because the media told them that you have to hate him. You think that Putin was scared of Biden? Biden sent over Kamala Harris, who's a complete and total disaster, over there to Europe to handle the situation, and she's over there babbling with a mask on, talking in circles, sounding like a student that doesn't have the answer to the question when the professor calls on him or her. But, it's okay because of diversity, right? We got the first female vice president, a person of color, because that's what's important. People like Putin don't respect that garbage. This is the real world. This is the real world. And now you're seeing it. We got inflation. We got rising gas prices. But, no more mean tweets. No more mean tweets. I mean, we're going to a very, very bad place. Because at the end of the day, listen, a strong America is great for the world. It's great for peace, I should say, having a strong America. And we look extremely, extremely weak right now. I don't know what's going to happen with China and Taiwan. I would expect at some point that China would now invade Taiwan, especially seeing, what Russia did with Ukraine. China's backing up Russia. So we're not in a good place, you know. It's really, really sad where everything's going, and you know, the fact of the matter is this: like the president affects foreign policy, and you're seeing that. So it's important who we vote into office because it affects foreign policy. Then it'll affect us. But all you fools that voted for Sleepy Joe, well, you got what you asked for. You know, Biden is extremely weak. You know, he even before this whole invasion, he kept saying how he wasn't going to send troops over there. And listen, again, I don't want him to send troops over there, but at least have the threat of it. At least have the unpredictability of, oh, this guy might actually send troops over there. You know, at least have the threat of it. By saying I'm not going to send troops and we're not going to get into any war over there, that's basically letting Putin know, yeah, he's not. He's going to put some sanctions, but he's not going to do too much. Let me just proceed to go in. There always has to be a threat. It always has to be there, hovering. You know, that's just the way world works. That's how dictators work. You know, that's what they respond to. That's what they understand. They understand strength. You know, Trump was supposed to destroy the world. He's supposed to destroy America. Look what's happening under Biden. You know, maybe next time people will think when they vote. Probably not. You think people like Putin and China care about transgender rights and a million different genders and all this other nonsense that the left is pushing? You know, the divide amongst each other over stupidity. We got to get our act together, man. Otherwise, we're in big trouble going forward. That's just one man's opinion.